Hi, it's Malcolm here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a horse racing system. So I want to break it down for you and show you the process I use to find the system. We're going to look at three things that you may want to ask yourself before you start creating the system, and 5 things you should look out for, or maybe 6, when creating a system. I'm only going to use information that you can get from, say, the Racing Post or Timeform or something like that. So I'm not going to use data that you can't get normally. And if you stay to the end of the video, I will show you how to use the race cards to get these daily selections. And I will give you a link where you can sign up to get these daily selections free of charge daily to your email. So if you want to carry on testing them, you can do that. Okay, so let's get on with it. Okay, so as I said, it's Malcolm here, and if you don't know me, I've been creating software for the betting markets for over 20 years. Software like TTS, Grey Horse Bot, PR ratings, that kind of thing. And in this video, we're going to create a system, as I said. So there's 3 questions you really want to ask yourself before you start creating a system. What type of system do you want? Do you want a lay system, a back system, a place system, a place lay system? Do you want a trading system? Do you want some kind of in-running system? That kind of thing. You're looking, kind of starting off going, okay, so today I'm going to create this. Today we are actually going to create a lay system on favourites. I thought that would be a good subject because, you know, laying favourites is not easy, so I thought that would be a good subject to start with. So the second thing you might want to ask yourself is, how are you going to judge the system? And what I mean by that is, are you going to go by strike rate? So if you're creating a lay system, you might want a high strike rate, you know, 60s, 70s, that kind of thing. Probably going to push to get into 80s with a favourite system, but that's the kind of thing that you might want to ask yourself. Most people will probably look at ROI or just profit. So you can decide on that. ROI is a good way of looking at it because that tells you what you're getting for your investment. So if you've got a ROI of 30%, every pound you put into the market, you're going to get 30 pence back. Or if you've got a ROI of 100%, then every pound you get put on the market, you're going to get 100 back. That kind of thing. Most people look at ROI or profit. I sometimes look at strike rate because personally, I may use a recovery system or something like that. So I tend to look at them a little bit differently. How many selections do you want per day or per month? You know, do you just want one a day? That kind of thing. So you have to kind of look at what you're going to aim for. Do you mind really digging deep and just coming up with 1 selection a day? Or do you really want to just throw everything at it and have 10 selections a day or something like that? That would depend on you, your time, you know, how you feel about betting, that kind of thing. I came up with 6 actual things that I think you should think about when creating systems. So we covered like what we're looking for before we start. Now let's have a look at some of the things we should think about. Okay, so the first is, have we picked up a trend that may not last? So this could be like a jockey's really doing well at the moment, or a trainer is really doing well at the moment, and you will see that as soon as that starts happening, the prices will go down and down and down, and you won't be able to make any profit because the market soon picks up on that. Ones that the market don't often pick up is with trends where, for some reason, favourites seem to be doing better than normal. And I saw one on AW a few years ago where favourites on AW just kept doing really, really well, and it took 3 or 4 months for the market to pick up on it. And so there was a lot of money to be made on favourites at a time when, you know, you wouldn't normally follow favourites. So they're the kind of trends you're thinking about. Are we using filters that will be difficult to follow in the real world? So what do I mean by that? Well, if you talk about, say, a lay system and you say, I'm not going to lay below 3. Now, Betfair will match at the best price possible with a lay system. So you may be looking at your selection and going, I've got a limit, I'm not going below 3, and that's like at 3.01 or something, 3.1 or whatever, and you place the bet, and then suddenly the market drops and you get matched at 2.9. That can happen. And so you've actually gone below your lower threshold. And that's really difficult to do. I mean, most of the time, you'll probably find your selection is in between your price range. But when you're really close to one of those low levels, then you've got to be a little bit careful. Another example is first, second, or third, or fourth favourites. When you're picking one, we've got a couple of systems in the TTS Plus community, and they need second favourites. And often, well, not often, but every so often, you'll find we got on what we thought was a second favourite because we're laying, so we can't go on BSP, and before the off, and it turned out to be favourite, and so it didn't appear in the results, but we still got that win or loss depending on what particularly happened. So they're kind of the real world things that you have to be kind of careful about. Are we adding filters without checking how they affect the overall system? And I'm going to talk more about this when we're creating a system in a moment. But basically, are you going adding filter without checking how those filters are affecting the overall results? And it's so easier to explain than it is actually saying it there. So I'll come back to that. And of course, we've got to cover, are we backfitting or are we trying to change the outcome of the selections? We're always going to be doing something when we look at results, okay? Because we've got no choice. We're going to use something like TTS Plus or PR ratings or something like that, and we're going to look at the results and we're going to go, well, what would happen if we did that? What would happen if we do that? And we're backfitting or back testing. The point is, when you create a system, you have to create it somehow, okay? Whether it's this way or another way or whatever, you have to create it that out. But you're not going to go, okay, I'm pretty sure that's right, let's now just go and place money on it. You're going to test it. And that's the point, is that whatever we do, we're going to go forward and test it. It doesn't matter if it shows 1,000 points profit or 500 points profit or 100 points profit. What happens next is what matters. So it doesn't matter what we do. What we got to think about is we're going to test, and we're going to go forward testing. And that's what we got to look out for. The fifth thing you might want to talk about is data set. The amount of results that you're working with. The more filters you add, the less results you have. And you've got to be careful that you don't go down to like so less or so few results that it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's another thing that you really want to talk about. And so that goes to my next thing, which is really time scale. How far back do we go when we talk about generating a system or creating a system or trying to figure out a system? Do we go back 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? Now, of course, most people want to go back further because they get more data. My argument is always, is that data still relevant? You know, courses evolve over time, jockeys change, trainers change the way they train. A classic is a few years ago, I can't remember how long it was, that Seville changed its surface again. And so it's completely different. So I'm pretty sure it's Seville. They changed their AW surface again. So that created a whole... So anything past further back than a couple of years doesn't make any sense whatsoever because it's a changed course. And, you know, there are course changes all the time and that kind of thing. So, you know, how the ground evolves at different courses. These are all things that affect racing. So we need to kind of say, well... Is going back further in a year really worth it? Should we just concentrate on the last year or 6 months, maybe 3 months? I don't know. And then go from there. So you have to make up your own mind about it. I tend to prefer a year, but in this case, I am going to use a bit further and we're going to carry on with that. Okay, without all that out of the way, let's get on with creating the system. Okay, so I am going to use TTS Plus to figure out whether we're going to use a system or not, or this favourite system. The reason why is because there's loads of data. I'm actually just going to turn it back to say 2022 or something like that. We're going to do a lay system. And also I've got these quick analyze buttons, which allows me to quickly figure out where profit might be or where strike rate might be. My concern with this system is probably more strike rate, but we're obviously going to look for profit and ROI. Okay. Now, I don't tend to go under 7 furlongs for lay systems. I don't know why. It's something that I've often covered. And I just kind of like 7 furlongs, so I'm going to go for it. If you want to change that, you can do, but that's what I'm going to do. And obviously we're going to go for favourite. Okay, so we'll whack that in. Okay, so this is our starting point. There's no point looking at results at the moment because there'd be too many and we know we're not making any money. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is look at race type. And I often do this because I always feel that, you know, that's somewhere where you really want to start and kind of know where profit is or loss is. So as you can see, there's actually profit on chase runners. Okay, there's not on flat, there's not on anything else. So we've got this profit on chase, and we've got AW as well. Not profitable, but quite a high strike rate. Now we've got a higher strike rate and a little bit better on the flat, but we're just coming out of the flat season, so I'm not going to bother trying to add in the flat season because we're not going to have that anyway. So let's stick to AW and chase for this method. So we're going to go AW and chase and submit. Okay, so if we come down, if we come down, I might go back a day actually, so we don't have so many selections to go through. We can see that there isn't any profit because we know we lost some. Highest bank drawdown 127. We're not really interested in this at all at the moment. So what I want to do is I want to have a look at handicap and non-handicap. So if we submit it again, okay, and we come down, really should go back a day. So handicap, we're down to minus 18.99. So non-handicap, $35 and 57% strike rate. Ooh. So we're going to go handicap. Okay, submit that. And I'm just going to update that a second. Just check race types again. So 70, 69. We could include hurdle now because that's at 71. So well, that's quite a difference that's actually made, isn't it? Shall we include hurdles? Let's have a look. Let's include, so we're going to go AW, chase and hurdle. Okay, because they're all kind of around the same strike rate. So I'm writing this down as we go along so I know where I am. Okay, so we'll submit that. Okay, and obviously we've got quite a few selections to deal with now, and we're obviously not going to be in profit. Sorry, that's taking us a little bit slower today. So 104 points negative. So okay, let's have a look at last time out. Okay, so this is how the horse performed last time out. Okay, so we've got, now remember I'm looking at higher strike rate and we want some selection. So this is a bit unsure down here. 70 there, 68, 66. So we've got 2 at 71, 73, 72, and then it kind of goes downhill. I mean, we're losing a lot of selections by doing that, but let's just go 2 to 4 for the moment. At least we get some profit on the board and see what that looks like. Okay, and then we'll start making some notes because it's quite interesting. Okay, so let's go down to the results file. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of this. So we've got some facts and figures to go by. We've got a high bank drawdown, 7 longest losing run, 109 points, that sort of thing. If we now go back and just check on the race types and just see if anything's changed there. So AW is actually still is not as good as chase and hurdle, which is quite interesting. I was expecting, which is quite interesting. I was expecting AWF to hold its ground. I'm going to leave it for the moment and just see what else happens. I mean, you could argue that if we go AW, and this is a great thing about Newton TTS, you can just change these things really quickly and just come down and see what a difference they make. And actually, as a system, that's not actually too bad. You know, straight off the bat, we've got what we get in a month. Getting quite a few selections a month. Average 6.718. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with this actually and get rid of AW for the moment. So we're handicap. We're last time out is 2 to 4. So what I'm going to do is turn that off a second. And this is what I mean when I was saying about going back and just double checking everything. Okay, to make sure you are seeing what you think you're seeing and whether those filters are actually working or not. So we've taken all them off. So I presume this is just going to go into a loss, which it has, yeah. Okay, so let's go up and now let's check last time out again. Okay, so 2, 3 and 4. Now they're actually quite high. You could argue these others are as well. Let's stick to 2 to 4 for the moment and see where that takes us. Okay, so last time out we're going to go 2 to 4 last time out. Okay, so let's see what that brings us. Okay, so if we go back to what we had, so we had 7 longest losing run, which we still got. Highest bank drawdown at 70, but we got down to 47. Strike rate, bit better. More profit, more ROI, and a slightly better average losing odds. So let's get rid of that one, and we're going to take a screenshot of this as our new standard. Okay, so we want to get better using this. So how many selections have we got? We've still got quite a few selections a month. And don't forget, we're outside of the chase and hurdle races really at the moment. We're coming to the end of the flat season, so we'll be coming back into them anytime now. Okay, so we seem to be all right with that. Let's have a look at tipsters. See what tipsters are doing. Okay, so 0, 1 to a profitable. Then we drop down. We could argue drops down there. That's quite a few selections. It's going to take quite a few selections off if we do this. I don't know. I'm thinking that we go to 6 just to see what happens if we go 0 to 6 on tipsters count. Okay, that's quite interesting. So let's see where that leaves us against the last one, which I'll bring back in now. No, if I can grab the whole window, that is. I hate it when it does that. Sorry, it's on my other screen, that's why I'm looking up there. So 248, 2140, 6 longest losing run. Highest bank drawdowns dropped again. Strike rate's gone up. Profit's gone down a little bit, but ROI's gone up. Yeah, let's do we like it or don't we? Everything else is working better, isn't it? So let's go with this for the moment. Okay, so in fact I'm going to take a screenshot of it so we kind of know. I mean, it's not doing very well, but we are really at the end of the flat season, so you're probably seeing all sorts of weird stuff going on at the moment. What are we down to? We're still apart. Once we get into the main season, we'll be going back up again. So, and we're only it's the 11th of the 9th, so we've still got quite a few selections to go. 6 points on average a month, which is not bad for a system like this. Okay, so we'll leave tips to count where it is, and we're going to turn off last time out again because I want to double check that. And again, this is what I mean by going backwards and forwards. Normally, if I wasn't talking, I'd be doing this really quickly. So let's have a look at last time out again, just to see if it's changed our feelings about anything. So 2 to 4 still seems to be. Is that what we had before? But we'll go 2 to 4 anyway. So 2 to 4. I'm pretty sure that's where we were, weren't we? Yeah, I think that's pretty much where we were. Yeah, so that's about right. Okay, so let's now have a look at number of wins, because I get the feeling that that might be low. So 0, 77, 1, 70, 74, 72, 71. So this is one of those places where you kind of think, well, we could just deal with that. Number of wins, 0. Let's go to the number of wins. So if we go 0 to 0 and see what that does. I'm not sure I kind of like playing with this one, but that's where all the profit is. So yeah, if you didn't mind, I mean, that's put everything up to points down, but everything else has changed. Look at this. So a lot less selections, obviously. Longest losing run 4 instead of 6. Still predicted losing run. Predicted losing run of 5. We've lost some profit. Average losing odds gone up again, but Roy's gone up to 13.54% now on favourites. That's pretty amazing. So our quandary is, of course, how many selections a month. So it's still roughly 1 a day, which isn't actually that bad. You know, like you can see there's a number of selections here, but only not all of these are obviously going to be favourite. So you might get one of these a favourite or 2 sometimes, that kind of thing. So all in all, that actually doesn't look that bad, does it? It's been up and down, but 5 points a month, you know, and if you compound that over time, that could add up to quite a bit of money. And it's horse racing on favourites. There's no reason why you can't get matched. Let's have a look at a couple of more things though, just to see. I don't really want to get this one down too low. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to turn that off a minute. So we've got that kind of system there if you want to follow that one. I'm going to take number of wins off. And I just want to have a look at a couple more things. I want to have a look at number of runners. So being this is a chase and hurdle system, also the distances won't matter on this either, because they're going to be over 1 mile something anyway. So we've got 33, hardly any selections, 56, 64. So 7. Shall we try? Shall we try 7 and above? Number of runners. Just to see what that does. So there was something going on there, a couple of losers, but then it's been fine since. So obviously up there, 6.6 points. That's not bad actually. I quite like that. Roy's gone down to what we were looking at just now. So yeah, that's kind of all right. I think we'll stick with that for a moment. If we look at it against what we had originally, so 8.46, strike rate's gone up, longest losing run's gone down to 4. Now if you think how I do, you'll be thinking about that. Profit's gone up, Roy's gone up, and average losing odds. So apart from that other system we had just now, I think that's pretty good. So the first thing I'm going to do is save this now. Favourites. Favourites. Favourite system. because then I can come back to it. I know where I am. So I'm just going to save that off. And then even if I don't use it, in a month's time, I can have a look at it again and say, oh, okay, what happened there? Did I actually save that? Did I actually click save? Yeah, I did. And so I don't even have to run it. I can just come back and go, okay, let's just see what's happened. And we do that. I mean, just as an example, I've done a video about this system, which I called GRTTTTS place, or whatever it is. And so I can just look at it every so often. I'll put a link to this video in the description below, but you know, that's one I put in here. There's a date on it as well. So I started looking at that on the 26th of the 6th, 2024, as you can see. And I am back in that, by the way, on one of the servers. But that kind of shows what you can do. But we'll come back to this favorite system because that's where we are. We don't want to get too sidetracked. So I'll load in that favorite system. So this is where we were. Okay. And that's where we are as far as Roy and everything else is concerned. So we're getting close to where we want to be, I think. So I'm just going to close that, take a screenshot of this, because I don't want to go on too much longer. Otherwise, you're going to be here all day and you probably don't want to be. So I'm going to move that to my other screen. And then just have a look at one or two more things and then we'll leave it there. I mean, it's a pretty good place to leave it anyway, but BSB rank. So what are we left with? Tips to count. We could redo these and just double check. What we could do as well is we'll just do that. And then just check race type still looks like it should be where it is. And her flat would be in there as well, but I'm not going to add flat because we're at the end of the season, but you could theoretically add flat in there as well. AWF definitely not. So we'll just go, if we added flat into the system, where would that be? Yeah, I think this time of year using the flat is you're getting into danger. I wouldn't use it. You kind of want to start flat season after about a month and kind of discontinue it about a month before the end, I think, a lot of the time. But anyway, so we're left here. It's still moving up. So is there anything else we want to have a quick look at? We've done last time out. We've done number of runners, age. Let's just have a quick look at age. See if there's anything here. Well, we could argue, just for the sake of it, although there's that drop there, 69, but then it goes back up to 81 and 83, so it's hardly worth worrying about that. So we won't do that. Yep, we're going to leave it there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the racing post. We're going to save the system off again, so I'm going to call it 2. And I'm going to call it final version. Now, if you get, if you want to get this in your email every day and check it, you can obviously do some more work on it yourself if you want to. But if you want to, then use the top link in the description below, and it will say, you know, get your free tips here, and you can go and sign up for them, and I'll send them to you every day free of charge in your email. And you don't have to do anything, they just be there for you. Okay, right. Okay, so after recording yesterday's video, which was the 11th, today is the 12th, I realised that I really needed to tell you about Betfair. Because although I'm going to take you through using the racing post to find the selections, we are laying these runners, and the only place we can lay them is on an exchange like Betfair or one of the others. So really you need to know about this part of it as well. So I'm going to show you this part and then take you through the racing post for the selection. You could theoretically find the selections on Betfair as well, because most of the information will be there. You just have to kind of look at it by I mean, if you go over the runner, you can see some of the information, form and that kind of thing. The only thing I don't think you can find is tipsters, tipping the selection, that kind of thing. So you probably need the racing post as well. But if we look at this, this is the normal way of backing a runner. So, you know, you back to win. So if I placed £1 and that runner came in and won, I'd actually win £3.80. Now that sounds silly because it says 4.8 there, but Betfair prices are always +1. It's the way they do decimalisation. So I would actually only win £3.80. Now on the other side, you can see that the lay is 4.9. So that's this column here, of course. So that means if we put £1 on that runner and that runner actually wins, we lose £3.90. Okay, so that's basically how a lay works. We're acting like a bookie. So we're offering a price. In this case, it would be 4.9. We know that we're going to have to pay out £3.80. In fact, Betfair will take that money from your account when you place the bet. So just keep that in mind. But to find, you can get most of the information. I just don't think they have tipping information on Betfair. But you know, you could just go to Racing Post and then come back with a list of runners that you want to have a look at, or get the daily selections, and then you'll have the list, and all you have to do is come here and look at the different races and find the ones that you want to bet on, or the one that is favourite, as we've talked about. Okay, so we get on with the Racing Post, and I'll show you how to select the runners. Okay, so here we are at the Racing Post, which is a popular site for most people. I got to be a little bit careful, obviously copyright and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think they mind me advertising this site and showing how you can use it. I don't think that'd be a problem. Okay, so I've got that one of the selections will possibly be in the 1603. Don't forget these are jump races. Okay, so all of today are flat apart from Worcester, so that's why all our selections are going to be late. So if we go to 1603, first of all, it's a 2 mile half, so that, as I said, that 7 furlong and above is not going to matter. Okay, it's a handicap. I'll put my thing on actually so we can see. So it's a handicap. Whoops. Oh, is that not working? Arrow. So it's a handicap, which you can see there. Yeah. We also want 7 to 50 runners. Well, if we go up here, we're 13 plus, so we know that's okay. And we need to look at, well, actually, we can sometimes tell straight away who the favourite is, so we don't have to really look at all the rest of them. I've got to turn that off to work. So if we look at Mood for the Moment, that is one of our selections at 1603. Okay, so that's the favourite. Okay, so how many tips? He's got 4 tips. Well, that's inside our 2 to 4. Last time out was second, so 2nd to 4, because we got 2nd to 4 there. Last time out, 2nd to 4, which is that as well actually. And tips to count 0 to 6. So 4 tips, we've already said that, haven't we? It's handicap race runners. So this would be a selection for us. Mood of the Moment. He's kind of got the only thing we need to look at. Oh, that was the other thing. Did we use? No. So 0 to 6, 2 to 4 last time out. We didn't use number of wins or anything like that, so we don't even have to look at that. It's dead easy to do. So we can just come back to the Racing Post and go, right, that's a selection. And come 1603, if he's still the favourite, which 10 to 3, Royal Max is not our selection. Oh yeah, Royal Max is a selection as well actually. So Go On You Good Thing and Go On You Good Thing is as well. So all 3 of these are 1, 2 tips. 4th last time out, 3rd last time out, 2nd last time out. Ages 7 and 6, we didn't use that, and everything else. Tips to count 0, so 1, 2 and 4 tips. So if any of those 3 are favourites, that would be a selection. So let's go to the 1710. which is our next one. So obviously I've got the selection, so we know it's going to be correct as far as that's concerned. The only thing, as I said before, is I get my tipsters slightly different, so they may not totally agree. So in the 1710, oh, we could have gone to 1635 as well, actually. 1635, let's go to that one. So I've got in the 1635 Duke of Lackey. Well, he's a non-runner, so that's not one. Gloria Daffon. Well, I don't think he's going to be favourite. Bally's Maid Mond, another one that's not going to be favourite. And Opening Bid, which is another one that I doubt is going to be favourite. Opening Bid, 12 to 1 as well. No. So we go to 1710, as I said. And here we've got Zestful Hope. No, I don't think any of these are going to be favourite. Zestful Hope. Bloody hell. Zestful Hope. I passed it, haven't I? We are in the right one. 1710. Oh, Zestful Hope there. 6 to 1. Doubtful. It'd be favourite. 1 tip. 4th last time out. Oh, it's 14 runners. No problem. Again, it's a handicap. You can see there. Handicap. So everything else, 2 mile 4. It's all that's right. So Opening Bid. Nope. Is nowhere near the top. So none of our selections are likely to be one of them. So if we go to the 1840, and we have got in the 1840, well, Macadaff Fish, which is right down there, 9 to 1, doubtful. Hamash, because mine are ordered by the morning prices. So again, it's possible. And what I'm going to do is when you get the free tips, there'll be like the 6 a.m. price with them. So you can get an idea of whether that runner is likely to be a favourite or not. You might still want to check, but at least you can go, well, none of them are likely to be favourites, so I'm not going to bother. That kind of thing. So 1910, which is the last one. So King Otis. No, see again. So we've only really found one that is likely to be a... Oh, Scalanti. Actually, yeah, 1910. Scalanti is there. Sorry, I missed that one. Scalanti is likely to be the favourite, is it? 11 to 4, yeah. So Scalanti is 5 tips. That's inside. 2 to 4 last time out. Second last time out. And we know it's a handicap. We know it's got 12 runners. We know it's a handicap. So that's our selection. So that's exactly how you do it with Racing Post. Dead easy to do. You just need, if you haven't got the selections like I'm giving out here, then you're obviously going to have to go find the race and then go through each one individually and say, is that a runner? 13 runners. Is that a handicap? Yes. Is the favourite this one here? 4 tips, that's fine. Second last time out, that's fine. So yeah, that would be okay. So that's how you do it with Racing Post. You just have to go through each race, and as it gets further into the season, of course, that's going to go up. Okay, that's it. So as I said, if you want to get the daily selections, then just follow the link down below. Sorry about not always looking at you. I'm just concentrating on the screen. There's a link that says get your daily selections. So go and do that. And, you know, otherwise take a note of it and go and have a play. This video has been a lot longer than I normally do. I don't like really doing long videos. But if you enjoy it, then please give me the thumbs up. If you've got any comments, then leave the comments in the comment section below. And subscribe to the channel. And if I see more subscribers, I'll obviously do more videos like this. So thank you very much again, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.